Hello. So today is known as Leftover Eye Makeup Monday because this eye has a lot more left over than this eye. I don't know. How are y'all? Hope you guys are doing great. I was kind of debating on like what to do this vlog about. I kind of want to talk about my feelings about the Divergent movie. Because I have a lot. When I went and saw the movie, I actually like took notes during the movie. I'm that person. I sat in the back so that my phone wouldn't bother anybody, but like I turned my brightness down and then I made sure like my like night screen was on so that I could like take notes. And because at first I was like, this is gonna be a good movie, and then things started happening and I was like, I gotta remember all this because so I am gonna save that for my next video next week. Monday will be like Divergent Monday, hopefully Monday. Gonna keep myself to that. But what I am gonna do is I wanted to talk about books to read. These are books you need to read because they're great and amazing. Um, being in my early 20s, I'm 23, um, I love dystopian future books, huge fan. I love like the like young adult fiction-esque like literature. I love it. So these are books that you need to read. But first, I wanted to show you a product. And you know, I being young, I have issues with my face. My face is very sensitive. Nothing works on my face. But one thing that does work is this Elf Zit Zapper. Oh my gosh. I I'm buying another one of these to keep in my purse. It's amazing. If you see like a pimple or a zit, you just roll it on, and seriously, within a few hours, the redness goes down. It's been amazing. Lifesaver. Just thought you all should know this. Elf Zit Zapper. And also, I think this was $1.50 at Target. You can go online to Eyes, Lips, and Face, and all of their items are super cheap, but the quality is not. It's amazing. Their quality is awesome. Okay, now to get a little bit nerdy. Um, Okay, so the first book series that I believe that everyone needs to read, it's in that like young adult fiction. I read it when I was in middle school. I want to say 8th grade. But I only read the first book, and I didn't know there was a whole series to it. And that is The Giver, by Lewis Lowry. Holy cheese. It is such a great book. And then I found out that it's an entire series, and I downloaded it on my iPad because I like to download them first to read them or find links and read them before I actually go buy like the physical copies, because I don't want to spend $15 on a book and find out that it's crap and then I'm like out 15 bucks for a stupid book. So I read the whole series, and when I finished, I was bawling because the last book is beautiful. It's The Giver, and then Gathering Blue, Messenger, and um, The Sun. And holy, everything just like intertwines. You wouldn't think you start to read it and you're like, this is a standalone book. But then like you get to like the third book and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you get to the fourth book and like everything is intertwining. And they are making a movie. The trailer looks really stupid, and Taylor Swift is in it, and I'm not a Taylor Swift fan at all. Sorry. Um, but you should read the series regardless of who's going to be in the movie. The series is amazing, and definitely like you can tell when you read other series, you can tell who's read it. Like Veronica Roth, who wrote the Divergent series, um, pulled a lot from The Giver. She really did like that series, so you can tell, and it's in her writing, and it's awesome. Um, Next book series would be The Maze Runner, by James Dasher. Oh, I probably should have gotten his name before I started this. But The Maze Runner, I think, is 3 books, and again, amazing, amazing book series. It was hard to get into when you first started. Like the first couple of chapters are like they have a different language where they are. Like they say things like green bean, like I don't know, just weird words. And it took me a while to like get past the words that they were saying for me to like understand what was happening. James Dashner, that's what it is. And that you have Maze Runner, and then the Scorch Trials, and then the Death Cure. And I think there is another book after that that's kind of like a prequel, but it came after. I didn't read it. I started to, but I couldn't get into it. And from what I hear, it doesn't really have that much to do with it. So I didn't finish it. But the three books in the series are amazing, and everybody should read them. It doesn't have a love story in it. Really, there's like a hint of a kind of a love story, but there's not much, and I loved that. I'm not a love story person. Um, I like to read books because they're interesting and because they're trying to like do something with their lives. I don't want to read about a love story, you know. I have my own life to live. I can watch a movie for that, you know. I just, I don't know. The next one would be the Divergent series. I think would probably be my number three um, book series to read. Um, I didn't think I was going to like this book and or this series. It took me a while to actually like start it. A lot of my friends were talking about it and told me I needed to read it, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And they were like, well, you know, Veronica Ross is really good. She's young. She liked The Giver. You know, you can kind of see that in her writing. And I was like, well, okay, then I'll give it a try. And I fell in love with the series. I really did. I was the person though. I don't know if you've read the book. And heads up, spoilers, spoilers. I will always talk about spoilers. I'll always let you know, but I always will. If you haven't read the series, if you haven't watched the movie, spoilers. Um, um, I loved Eric and Peter in the very first book, and I know that they're evil, and I know that like Peter stabbed a person, and Eric is an asshole and is trying to like create the end of the world with Janine or whatever, or the end of Divergence. But I loved them, and I loved Peter even more in the movie because it was Miles Teller, and I was like, it's Miles Teller. I can't hate him. I can't hate this character. Should have cast somebody else, somebody who was hateable. He's not. Um, really liked it. I am a huge fan of how Allegiant ends. Um, I think that Triss dying was the best way for to end the book series. I don't think there was any other way. I thought it was beautiful, and Tobias going down the zip line with her ashes, just phenomenal and great for his character. So that's awesome. Actually, you know what? Divergent is probably my fourth favorite series. My third favorite would be the Chemical Garden series, which consists of the book. It's by Lauren De, De Stefano. I probably butchered that. I apologize. I have a horrible maiden name, so I feel yeah. But it's Wither, and then Fever, and then Sever. And so good. Such a great series. It has a love story in it, but it's so much more than that. The main idea of the story is like them doing and getting out and finding out the truth behind everything, and the love story just kind of like takes a back seat almost, and you're rooting so much for this character, and Ryan is such an amazing name, and I love it, and I want this to be a movie. Like I want this to be a movie series so bad, and I don't. They could butcher it, and I would probably care. I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't, but I would love to see it on screen. Um, and then the next series that you should read is the Delirium series, which I am not going to lie, I was very pissed about the ending. That consists of Delirium, and then Pandemonium, and then Requiem. And this is by Lauren Oliver. Um, and you know, I really wanted to like this series because the first two books are just they're just amazing. And I really, really, really wanted the third book to end amazingly, and then it just I didn't like the ending. I threw my iPad across the living room actually when I ended the book. Like you read like the last paragraph and I just like I stood up, I threw it and I screamed. And my husband, my fiance at the time, was like, "What is your damage, Brianna?" And I was like, "This book." And I told him what happened. He was like, "What the I was like, "I know!" I was really, really, really angry. And I was so mad. Um, but she wrote another series, um, Panic, which I haven't read yet. I haven't read that book, but I'm super excited to. Um, and then standalone book, The Fault in Our Stars. It is a love story book, and I knew that going into it, and I was super excited about the fact that I was okay with reading it, and I am so pumped to. I was. I can't wait for the movie. It's gonna be amazing. John Green is a phenomenal writer, which is why I bought this book. I'm excited to get started on you. I'm excited. I Fault in Our Stars. If you like to cry, then you need to read this book. If you need to cry, if you need to let that emotion out, read this book. Um, it's beautiful, beautiful. Um, and I like Augustus was such a great character. John Green is phenomenal in his writing, and he's hilarious and a nerd, and it's awesome. Um, I think that's it. I think those are my top books forever and ever. Oh, and of course, Song of Fire and Ice. Gotta get my Game of Thrones in there. Love it. You need to read it. And I'm ready for the next books now. But yeah. So that's it. Nothing much really going on here. Personally, well, my husband has school until 5 a.m. It's 9 o'clock here. p.m. He's got it till 5 a.m. And then tomorrow he is directing and he's shooting um, a short film Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m., which is really a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. Yay for film school. No, no. Well, you're awesome. You should subscribe. And you should follow me on Twitter. I'll put it down below. Or Instagram. I'll put that down below. Or on Tumblr. I'll put that down below. Don't judge me for any of my fandom stuff I put up there. Thanks. Subscribe. Because you're cute. Everybody's cute.